All right, Team Camp, I'm back. Back to help you with what is going to be the last step that we're going to be taking together on this assignment. And that is to write your copy of your essay, of your paragraph. Now, before we begin that, you're going to need to make sure you have, of course, a pencil, some lined paper, and you could use the lined paper that has just the 2 lines in it. I give you a bunch of that the last time around. It should be in your packet. I also, before you left school, I give you lots and lots of this lined paper, like with the 3 lines in it. I like to use this personally. Either one works for me. It doesn't matter. So get your paper, get your pencil, and get your T-chart notes. Now, first thing you have to do is we have to remember that, oops, sorry about that. We have to remember that these yellows have to be sentences. They can't just be one word like texture. That's not complete. It has to be a whole sentence. So we're going to turn that into a sentence. And we also need to put those words on there called, they start with the letter T. I don't know if anybody remembers. It starts with the letter TR. If you said transitions, you're right. If you said transmission, that's wrong. That's in a car. This is transition. So we have to start with those transition words. So the first transition word to use is, oftentimes, we can just use first. Or we can make it a little bit more interesting and say first of all. First of all, comma. And then we can't just say texture. What about texture? Lots of things have texture. Sandpaper has texture. Concrete has texture. Glass has texture. Texture is how it feels. What are we talking about in this essay or this paragraph? Soil. So we're going to say, first of all, soil has texture, period. Now, I wrote a capital T here, but when I write this out in my on my paper, I want to make sure it's a lowercase t, because we don't capitalize words in the middle of a sentence unless they are a name of a person, a place, or a thing. Then we need to go ahead and do the next yellow sentence and turn it into a sentence, because right now it just says soil structure. So if we use first of all, let's use next, comma, what has structure? Soil has structure, period. And again, I put a capital S when I was writing my notes. When I write this as a sentence, that's going to be a lowercase s on soil and a lowercase s on structure. Next, soil has structure. Now, you can do the same thing for the key ideas for splendid soil. Okay, you just have to turn your yellows into complete sentences. The next step is, now I have 2 pieces of paper because I'm afraid I might run out of room in one. So I'm going to have 2 pieces of paper handy. Maybe you should have 2 as well. The next step is we're going to go ahead and start writing this out as a paragraph. Now, if you think back to the last time we talked about writing paragraphs, it was on the President's Day piece that we did in class. It was about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And so what do we start how do we start a paragraph? Think about that. Say it out loud. What do we start a paragraph with? If you said a capital, you're absolutely right, because we always start every sentence with a capital letter. But we also need to start a paragraph by doing something else. If you said indent, then you win a prize. Ding, 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 ding. Go ask your mom and dad for a prize, because I got nothing for you. Anyways, remember that most sentences are going to, most times when we write on these lines, they're going to go on the margin. The margin is the edge of the paper. Some paper has a pink line down the margin to show you where the margin is. This just stops at the edge right here. So that's the margin. So most sentences, or most times we write, we're going to write right at the beginning of that margin, but not at the beginning of the sentence. We have to put how many finger spaces? 2 is correct. 2 finger spaces. So we're going to put 2 finger spaces, and then we start by writing our topic sentence. Whenever good spacing in between words, remember, 1 finger space in between words. Think, uh-oh, guess what? I've run out of room. What do I do? Oh, that's right, go to the next line. Do I indent again? Nope. Whenever we think of something, oh, my fault. I was reading the wrong line, sorry. Oh, another mistake, oh no. Go with the flow, Mr. Camp. Go with the flow. We think of... Now, I'm not going to put something here because I don't think it's going to fit. So I'll go to the next line. Notice how I'm not indenting, only at the beginning of that sentence. Good. So now I've done my topic sentence. Anybody remember what comes next? If you said a red detail, wah, wah, that's not right. What comes next? It's a yellow key idea. It's the first one. So, do I start on a new line and indent? Or do I start writing right after icky? Right after icky. So then I'm going to continue 1 finger space, just like in between all words. First of all, comma, soil has texture. Period. Here, now. Now your details may not be written in complete sentences. Now let me read this to you. Sandy soil feels rough or coarse and has little water. I'm going to change that. It should be holds little water. Is that a complete sentence? Sandy soil feels, there's the verb, rough or coarse, and holds, that's another verb, little soil. And we're talking about, or little water. We're talking about sandy soil, that's the subject. So yeah, it's a complete sentence. So I'm going to write it just like it is. Now notice I'm not indenting, I only indent at the beginning there. Period. Now my next detail is about clay soil. Clay soil feels smooth and holds a lot of water. So I just write that. That's a complete sentence. Almost ran out of room. Oops. So I have gotten finished now with the first yellow sentence. First of all, soil has texture. And these red details that go along with the first yellow sentence. So now my next step is I'm going to go ahead and finish the next yellow and the next reds. And then I'm going to write the conclusion. Remember, all of these, none of these, I'm not going to indent any of these. The only thing I indent is at the very beginning. So, the next step, continue writing. So now you can see I'm done. And not only did I just finish writing all of the sentences one after the next, the green, by the way, we forgot to talk about the green topic and conclusion are color-coded green. But not only did I just write one sentence after the next sentence and keep writing, I then went through and underlined my green topic sentence, my first yellow, my first key idea, my first, and then my reds, the details that go along with that key idea. So I underline them in the correct colors. Now, if you'd like to do that, you can do that with your paper too. I'm just doing it so that you can see all of the parts, the green conclusion, the yellow key ideas, and the red details. So there you have it. Now we're done. If we were in school, I would say the next step is that I would go through and help you edit, look for spelling mistakes, and any periods that need to be there, and capital letters that need to be there or shouldn't be there. So that's something you can have your parents help you with, is capitals, periods, spelling, indenting, good finger spacing in between words. So you can have your parents help you with that. That would be great. So there you are. You've written your paragraph about the soil. At least I have. Now it's your turn. Right, take care everybody. Miss you all. Bye-bye.